Hello and welcome to the Bird's Eye View. I'm Harcase, and as always, we got the lovely
War Duck, that's right.
Woo. All right, and today we're going to check out this video that War Duck showed me. It's Candace Owens reacts to Joy Reid's insane comments on Gabby. Oh God, how do you say her
Petito.
last name?
Gabby
Petito
Petito.
case.
So
Gabby Petito.
we've been
All
covering a lot of the Gabby Petito stuff and like it's all over. It's gripped the nation, and there's been a lot of backlash because people are like, well, what about my missing people, and this and that, and Joy Reid, who's part of the media, she decided to go on the attack about this. And but except for one of the things that you don't want to do is you don't want to piss off Candace Owens.
okay.
Candace Owens, she is super brilliant. She's like Shapiro and like Ben Shapiro. Those two you do not want to get into a debate with. They will just destroy you. And but Joy Reid opened her mouth, said some things, and Candace Owens heard about it, saw it, and she's gonna put Joy Reid in her place. So we're gonna go ahead and bring this down, and then we're gonna watch this video. Man, dude, you do not want to kid on Candace Owens' bad side. It's just not what you want to do. All right, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and start this video right now.
The largest national stories right now, the tragic death of Gabby Petito, a young travel vlogger who died on a trip with her fiance, Brian Laundrie, who's currently a person of interest in her case. In response to the wide coverage for Gabby and the ongoing investigation, one MSNBC host, Joy Reid, had a big problem with the case. So let's take a listen to what she said, and then I will give Joy some of the counterpoints.
I'm going to pause it real quick.
And the Petito family certainly.
All right, so this is Joy Reid's media broadcast that she went out public to, and this is why it burnt Candace Owens so bad that she decided to respond, is because Joy Reid is attacking everybody in including the media about why it didn't get the same attention, right?
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
But she is the media. But this is why it burned Candace Owens. This is why she responded. All right, here we go.
Certainly deserves answers and justice. But the way this story has captivated the nation has many wondering, why not the same media attention when people of color go missing? Well, the answer actually has a name: missing white woman syndrome, the term coined by the late and great Gwen Ifill to describe the media and public fascination.
So, she attributes this term to somebody else, but when I was trying to do some research and stuff, is Joy Reid's like the first person to bring it up, right? So I don't.
Oh, right. Okay.
She said it, and it's not an actual syndrome. It's not an actual thing, right? There's no medical community thing about it. There's no scientific studies about it. There's nothing. Yeah. It's just a term someone coined and made up to bring race into a subject that doesn't belong. All right, so here we go.
Because I've never heard of this before until right now. So it's very odd.
All right, so here we go.
With missing white women like Lacey Peterson or Natalie Holloway, while ignoring cases involving missing people of color.
Okay, missing white person syndrome. I thought I had heard it all, but apparently I had not. Here we are, Joy. Counterpoint number one. You have 3 children, Joy. According to the internet, their approximate ages are 28, 26, and 23. Your youngest is then very close in age to Gabby Petito. As a mother, you then know what it's like to feed, bathe, nurture, and love a child from the moment that you welcome them into the world. You heard Gabby Petito's mother plea. You heard her cry. You heard her beg for the safe return of her daughter, and you felt nothing, presumably because she was white. I can only imagine the pain that woman felt when she was informed that her daughter's body had been found. Her daughter's body was found cold, alone, and in a forest 2,000 miles away from home. A daughter that she loved every single day for 22 years. If your first instinct when you hear that an innocent young girl with an entire life ahead of her was brutally murdered? If your first instinct is to offer commentary about the color of her skin, I want you to know something, Joy. You are a monster. Something has gone horribly wrong with you. There really is no other way to say it. Counterpoint number 2.
All right, hold on. Okay. So let me go back. So American news anchor Gwen Ifill is credited with originating the phrase at the Unity Journalist of Color Journalism Conference in 2004. So a journalist made up this term and used
Sounds
it.
about right.
And so then Candace's first point is, you're a mother and your first instinct is to attack another mother that just lost her daughter.
Yeah. That's just,
ouch. I mean, like I said, Candace is not somebody you want to mess with. And out of all things, right, how does that make you look, Joy Reid? Is your first instinct is to attack another mother that just lost her child?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for the, thank you for caring, right? That's basically...
Yeah. It's just like, did you not take a second to try and maybe put yourself in her shoes for a second as a mother? Like, maybe get a bit better understanding? Oh, no, just went straight for, was it what do they call it again? What's this syndrome? It's so stupid, I've forgotten it already.
Missing white woman syndrome.
Missing white woman syndrome. God, sounds so stupid.
Yeah. So all right. So here we go, and she's going right back into point number 2, and it just gets worse. Like,
oh yeah.
Here we go.
2. Your issue is with media coverage of Black people that are missing. I mean, why aren't people of color receiving the same media attention when they go missing, you ask? Well, Joy, this is going to really shock you, but you are the media. You said this statement on your very own show on MSNBC. So I had my team take a look, because surely the person pointing the finger couldn't possibly have 3 pointing back at them. But it turns out, Joy, that you do. Because as far back as we could look, in the last 2 years at least, you haven't brought a single missing Black child case to the forefront. Now, maybe that's good news, because it means that you're not just a monster, you're also a massive hypocrite. Counterpoint.
Ooh. Damn. So she goes right into her background and her record, Joy Reid's record, and said, you care about this so much, but not one time did you bring it up. Not one time did you cover any missing persons cases of color. And then
That's
just
crazy.
stamps her with the hypocrite. Right on the forehead. I mean...
Yeah.
And now she's got a 0.3, dude, and I don't even know where this one's going, but I mean, Joy Reid, you should have just kept your mouth shut. But here we go.
Yeah,
here goes
like
point number 3. Well, I don't even know where this one's going on. Here we go. Oh, they got to clap. All right. This is her show, so...
And as a final counterpoint, and really this one is more of a question that I'm hoping that you might be able to help me out with. If it's called missing white person syndrome when the media dedicates wall-to-wall coverage to a crime that happens to a white person, what exactly is it called when the media dedicates wall-to-wall coverage for an entire year to every Black person that is killed by a police officer off their own supply?
Wow.
What exactly was it called when every major city burned for weeks because of George Floyd?
She went deep on
Ahmaud
that one.
Arbery, Breonna Taylor, Michael Brown, take your pick. What exactly is it called when entire murals and statues are built up and billions of dollars are raised in their name from people all over the world? You know, it's funny we know so many of their names, because outside of Gabby Petito, if pressed, I actually sat down and I thought about it. Outside of Gabby Petito, I cannot actually think of the name of a single missing white person that inspired similar wall-to-wall coverage, at least not in the last decade. Try it. I did. And the best I could come up with was, as you mentioned, Lacey Peterson. And that happened in 2002. So you're also
damn, that was
dishonest,
that long
Joy.
ago. Almost
Every
20
major
years.
corporation, sports team, government agency, and celebrity bends over backward each and every time a Black person dies in a police shooting, whether that shooting is completely justified or not. We know none of the names of white people that die in the same fashion. None of them, not even one. So why don't you cut the crap and give the Petito family the respect and the national sympathy that they deserve? I want to talk about your...
Woo! Damn. So her last point is you want to cover all this other stuff and everybody worldwide knows who they are. What term are you coining that, Joy Reid? And then basically name another instance of this white woman syndrome.
Yeah.
And you got to go back to 2002, I think she said, which is almost 20 years ago. So, dude, she just slapped up Joy Reid and just discounted everything that lady had to stand on. But
see now what you mean by don't mess with Candace Owens. She wow, she took old Reid to school right there. Just,
so two people you do not want to get in a debate with is Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens. That is just not gonna work out well for you at all.
Yeah,
but
I've heard the name Ben Shapiro. I know that he's definitely one not to try and debate with.
And like it's funny because people like he's white, right? And he's Jewish. And then people are like, I think Google put him on their pyramid of racism. He's like, out of anybody that's not going to associate with the KKK, it's probably the Jewish white guy that is not going to do that. I mean, it's just, but these woke people and I'm pretty sure it was Google's pyramid of racism and their training that they're giving people and stuff that had Ben Shapiro on there, and I was like, but yeah, Candace Owens rips this lady up, breaks down all her points, and the thing is the Gabby Petito case. Why did it capture so many people's attention? And I think is for one, the YouTube community, because she was a YouTuber, kind of accepted her as one of their own and was like, hey, let's help a fellow YouTuber out. Well, then she was also on Instagram, and so the Instagram community was like, hey, let's help this other influencer out, you know, and help find her. And I think it was the social media attachment that really drove a lot of this thing, and not to mention the fact that it wasn't a runaway, right? It wasn't somebody just missing. It was she was documenting her trip, and the dude just showed up at home without her, right? That is a unique circumstance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I think this goes back to the point of maybe Lacey Peterson, why people were, you know, why that was so big is it was kind of very similar, right? She just all of a sudden, poof, was gone. It wasn't like she had an alternative lifestyle or anything that would increase your risk or where the media wouldn't want to report on it or something like that, right? It was these are circumstances that were immediately right now. It was an ongoing case, and it had the social media attachment. And I think that's really why it got as big as it did. And then on top of that, the circumstances behind it are just super weird and unique and strange, which is the other reason I think it really got a lot of that attention.
Because, definitely, because it's not your, say, cut and dry kind of cases of people missing. It's a very unique thing that's happened because she had a presence online in social media, and for then that all suddenly stopped, and then he appearing here and, you know, like back home without her, and then, you know, it's just been one crazy thing after another. But I think why this got so much attention, as you said, is because she had that social media aspect in it. It just helped to get her story out there more, which then in turn got picked up by different news places and stuff, you know, and that's probably why people feel like, oh my God, she's everywhere. But it's just like, well, it's because she was actually had a community that cared.
And that's a big point, because the news is only going to cover what people want to hear and talk about, right? So as soon as it was blowing up on social media, YouTube, social media, and all that other, the news is like, well, hell, we got to cover this. Everybody's looking on this. We need eyes on our TV, right? So they're like, oh, we got to cover it. And here's the other thing: is if Brian had called the police and said, oh, something happened to Gabby, and then they went out there and they found her right away, would this case have gotten the same attention? I don't think so.
Probably not, no.
I don't think so. But because of his actions of they were here together, this couple, and then all of a sudden he was home and he lawyered up and he's disappeared, made this way bigger than I think it would have gotten.
Yeah.
But
another way to say it is, imagine if she wasn't a YouTuber and everything, probably nobody would know.
Yeah, if
it
she,
would
that's
be
right.
very.
If she wasn't on YouTube,
so under the
she
radar.
wasn't on social media, you're right. Would anybody even have heard about it? Or it would have been just like every other case, and it would have had nothing to do with this missing white woman syndrome or whatever made-up syndrome. And that's the thing, is it was coined by a journalist looking for headlines, right? And so now it's being reused by a journalist as a weapon, as a divisive weapon on race. That's really what it is. It's just a divisive weapon on race. There was some other, I think she talked about the cases. There was like 710, there was like 710 people in Wyoming of color that have got that go missing or have gone missing or something. But they don't tell you all the whole story. That's a headlines number, right? Because I think it was 50% of them. 50% of them are found within the first week.
All right. Okay.
And then 25 of them are found within the first 30 days. And then whatever the number comes out, it only comes out to 11% are never located.
Right, yeah.
Right? So that's a total of 18 people. That's still a lot of people missing,
that is quite a lot,
but that's a drastic change from you trying to label 710 people that nobody cares about. That's a whole nother ballgame.
Yeah.
And that first big number of people that go missing there are runaways that show back up within the first week, right? So, so all the statistics thrown around, they're not telling you the whole story, and they're trying to use it as a weapon to further divide people and label people and and the one thing I think that Gabby's case did is it brought a lot of people together, regardless of who you were, age, or race. It brought a lot of people together to help and talk about something, and which to me was very positive. Yes, it's a horrible thing. I feel so bad for the family because as a father, I can't even begin to understand the ability to move on after losing a child like that. That to me is I hope I hope nobody ever has to experience that. And I give I give them all the hope in the world that they can move on with their lives. And I heard they started a foundation to keep her memory alive and to keep to help other people in similar situations. So,
that's awesome.
Yes, it was a tragedy, but hopefully something positive that they can build out of that. Because other than that, I don't know, like for me, I don't know what else I would hold on to how to move forward with that. That'd be something else.
So, for sure, yeah.
So tragic situation, but like the power of the community is very powerful, and this shows how people can still come together, regardless if you got poked in the arm, or regardless who you voted for, regardless of any of that. People still came together and tried to help the best they could and spread the information around. And for me, I believe got a much quicker result than would have been possible without it, because they were able to pinpoint where Gabby was within a few days because of that travel vlogger's video.
And exactly.
And the only reason she went back and checked that was because her friend was like, "Hey, weren't you in this area? Did you hear about this case? You need to go back and review your information."
Yeah, that's what I think is what I like to call the beautiful side of social media, is that the fact that everyone's so connected now, that when things like this happen, it has such a wide spectrum that is able to help, like, in these situations. And it helped in such a way that, as you said, they were able to pinpoint exactly where she was, in these certain days. Whereas, like, without social media, it would have been like trying to find a needle in a haystack for them, so
Right. And they may not have, I mean, to be honest, they may not have ever found her, because I don't know if you read, but they found another body in that area.
All right. Oh wow.
Of somebody that had went missing. And they had used heat sensitive cameras and all that to search for him before the Gabby case, but because they were in that area canvassing again, they ended up finding him.
Wow.
And so they were able to bring closure to another family. It just so happens it was kind of in the same area. So
yeah,
in that Grand Teton, Wyoming area.
Yeah. Because it's a big area, isn't it? Where it was.
It's like a federal national park or something like that, or state national park, or state park, state national park. Yeah, anyway. So let's get back to the original thing is, do not mess with Candace Owens. She will wreck you. Hope you enjoyed this video.
Yeah, indeed, yes.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you again. Much love, all.
Peace out.